Welcome to Research Business Daily Report, sponsored by RFL Client Consulting. I'm Bob Lederer. Last week we spoke about how to improve research conferences, and the emphasis was on conference layouts that can funnel client research buyers past exhibiting vendors, and presentations needing to be sleeker and more to the point. However, there's another interesting conference situation worth exploring. Pay for play has become a research industry standard at many venues, and the bigger the meeting, the more likely a speaker is going to have to dole up some bucks in order for him or her to stand behind a microphone and express their point of view. In other words, how smart and sharp someone is probably very secondary to one other fact, and that's the ability to pay to be heard. Look, there's an awful lot of media and conference entities out there that have been seeing their everyday revenues in decline, so they have understandably sought to flick another switch to generate new revenues. We spoke to Quirks, which launched special sections, it's another word for advertorials, frankly, to boost its revenues. For the uninitiated, advertorials are editorial that is clearly labeled as bought and paid for by a company writing about itself. Now, advertising or advertorial slots can and are pricey. Sometimes everyone is invited to offer their opinion about an important subject, but the few that end up being heard pay several $1,000s for that opportunity. The insidious aspect of pay-to-play is that no one is forced to participate. However, the pay demand is probably blocking out many good and unique ideas that would help everyone. And frankly, that is not ideally what any media want in their news and opinion space. And yet it has become a modus operandi for conferences and even media in the research industry area. If you're a regular contributor to a publication or a website, it's frequently because you're doing business with that media entity. For us, pay-to-play is a challenging philosophy that we've strenuously tried to avoid. Up until about a decade ago, whenever we prepared a story about almost any company, the subject of that story would come back to us nearly automatically and volunteer to buy a subscription or spend some dollars after completion. We never had to ask for business in return for helping to boost their business. But conditions in the market have changed. And I'm proud to have been a journalist with a unique, credible publishing and video research media business for almost a quarter century. And there has never been a quid pro quo for people and companies that we've interviewed. Unfortunately, over time, increasingly, the time, effort, and investment that we have expended in our coverage for any company or individual has become a one-way relationship. Individuals and companies featured on RBDR or in our newsletters said thank you all too often for our help, and then they headed right out the door. Now, we've never dropped our editorial standards, and yet we have been in the uncomfortable role now of explaining to potential subjects of a story how their company and our company need to help each other. Now, happily, those conversations, and I've had many of them in the last couple of weeks at CRC and at the market research event, have become a comfortable exchange, which we plan to do everything we can to try to maintain. That's your Research Business Daily Report, which has been sponsored today and this week by RFL Client Consulting, created to assist client research departments as well as research agencies of all sizes and shapes. It is based on our 24 plus years of personal experiences with the heads of client research departments and thousands of research agency executives that we've had the privilege of meeting. Our unique capabilities include checking out advertising and promotional efforts behind any new product or service so that the person or the company putting it out can actually know its true novelty. And then working with a client market research department to smooth out rough edges and maybe even institute some important changes. We think there's a ton more that we can do that neither we or our potential customers have even thought about, and we look forward to having conversations about that. You can check out RFL Client Consulting at our corporate website, rflonline.com. You can see my email and my phone number. So give me a jingle or send me an email. Have a great research day, and we hope to see you back here tomorrow.